Welcome to the SVG-TV News and Sports for Tuesday, February 3rd. I'm Khalil Cater with the details. Government Senator Julian Francis has chided the opposition New Democratic Party's plan for the establishment of a full-fledged private sector ministry. According to Francis, the policy needs much more work as it seeks to create an entire new ministry that will make very little difference.
All those persons who work in the Ministry of Finance and have to deal with the private sector, like customs and so on and whatnot, helping them and so on. Ministry of Trade, Invest SVG, watch yourself. You may very well find that a new ministry is established and you have to get transferred out of the prestigious offices of the Ministry of Finance into this Ministry of Local Private Sector. Mr. Speaker, I have absolutely no problem with services being put together and a little bit more emphasis played. In fact, this is what the leader of the opposition said. He said assisting the private sector, his proposal is to do something a little bit different. He's going to do something a little bit different by establishing a whole ministry to do something a little bit different.
Meanwhile, Deputy Speaker of the House and the Government Senator General Thomas has described the 2015 budget as a document that is strategically designed to address the needs and concerns of the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Making his contribution to the 2015 budget that should be the 2015 debate on the approximately $971 million budget allocation for the year. Thomas says after listening to the various presentations from the members of the opposition, there is yet to be an appreciation for a holistic understanding of the societal demands and where SVG goes from here.
In fact, I told a friend of mine after listening to some of the members that it is a kind of untamed populism. Very untamed. It's all over the place. It's wild. An untamed populism. And it is intended to say to the people of St. Vincent, well, there's weakness here, there's weakness there, there's weakness here, there's weakness there. This can be done better, more money can be spent here. Another community center another clinic should be built here, we need a doctor here. But there's no holistic understanding of where we need to go.
Opposition Senator Vinette Frederick, in her contribution to the debate, argued that the Unity Labour Party administration has proven incapable of producing outcomes that will benefit the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines tangibly and sustainably.
We are being told about all that is happening, and nowhere in this document can I see how we are positioning St. Vincent and the Grenadines to attract overseas IT-based businesses to our shores. But Mr. Speaker, let me just say, and I'm sending this message out to all developers of apps in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, or wherever you may be, of Vincentian parentage. Wherever you are in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, contact me, please. Because today, those who are interested in ensuring that our developers and persons who create apps and who are available to be employed, get employed. We are in a position to position you to speak with international businesses that need your services once you fit the criteria.
MP for South Central Windward and Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries Saboto Caesar describes the budget as one for all times, a marriage of an exercise in fiscal discipline and prudence, which he says takes into consideration the needs of economic growth. He told Parliament that his government is not afraid of challenges and is doing whatever it can to find solutions to these challenges. On the subject of agriculture, Caesar pointed out that the industry is a critical sector for the development of SVG and cannot be slighted. He spoke of the progress within the local banana industry and says it is the intention of the government to have over 3,000 acres of bananas cultivated across SVG. As it relates to root crops, he says this area has shown significant improvements, so much so that a larger vessel had to be purchased from Trinidad to accommodate the quantities of root crops coming from SVG.
Sometimes I am bombarded in my office. I don't like to use the word traffickers because sometimes it comes off wrong. Traders to Trinidad will come to my secretary asking for the Minister of Agriculture to come down to the port to ensure that their load gets onto the boat. You know why they want that? Because there's so much load to go to Trinidad from St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and we must commend our root crop farmers for continuing to do excellent work, and that is why we have been able to corner 98% of the root crops going into Trinidad and Tobago originate in St. Vincent. Mr. Speaker, when you go, whether you're in San Fernando, in Chaguanas Arima, in Couva, any root crop stand you go, they will tell you these are the Vincies.
On our route, the Agriculture Minister pointed out that the hard work of his ministry to expand the sector can be seen throughout the hills and valleys of SVG, and this process will continue in 2015.
Mr. Speaker, the target is for us to have 1,000 acres of arrowroot planted in this country. The expansion has to take a longer time than we expected, because we can't use all the rhizomes for replanting. We have to also produce starch so that we could hold ourselves in the marketplace. But over time, we intend to build up to 1,000 acres.
Highlighting that SVG is the largest exporter of cattle in the OECS, Minister Caesar says there should be no fear that the country will not be able to supply itself, telling Parliament that the government has the situation under control.
I received a letter from the Ambassador of the Republic of Cuba to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and he said, "Dear Minister, in relation with your requesting of the Cubans expert on artificial insemination, Dr. Sol, I would like to inform you that the mentioned expert is ready to travel to St. Vincent and the Grenadines on the 18th of February 2015. So, Mr. Speaker, while we're exporting, we are ensuring that we utilize the technology so that our stocks would not be significantly reduced. Mr. Speaker, we continue to explore the $35 million goat and sheep market in Trinidad and Tobago, and it is the intention of the Ministry of Agriculture to begin to export to Trinidad and Tobago before the end of 2015. Mr. Speaker, what is more, seeing the need for expansion, it is a policy of the ministry to utilize $1 million of the $6 million fund in the Farmer Support Company directed to livestock.
Meanwhile, opposition MP for Central Kingstown, Sinclair Leacock, in his contribution to the debate, says all is not well with the economy as the government would want the people of SVG to believe. He told Parliament that things have not always been that way, that from 2007 to present the situation has gotten worse, and that the government is in a free fall.
A veritable death trap from which they will not escape unless you have a change of regime that can address and attend to that situation. Mr. Speaker, I wanted us to call it a 10 cents budget, because after all your current things is paid, you only have 10 cents left. The Honorable Senator Lowe is a little meaner than me. He said it's 8 cents. I'm not going to quibble with him. He has accounting and legal degrees.
On the subject of electricity, the opposition MP says a new Electricity Supply Act needs to be put in place so that Vincentians can enjoy a new basic price for electricity.
Once and for all of the notion of a surcharge, and replace it with the expression an adjustment, because I'll put it to you, Mr. Speaker, surcharge implies an addition to the basic charge, and the projections are that for the next several years, that as would happen in St. Lucia and other countries, after you have your basic price, that figure will go down and down and down. So we have to get rid of this notion that it must go up, because the reality now, as we had in 1973 when gas price moved the other way when it went up, is that in 2015 it is going down. So replace the expression surcharge with energy adjustment to reflect that every month I'm sending the price of energy down.
A new call centre is coming to SVG soon. This announcement was made in Parliament today by Minister of Foreign Affairs, Trade and ICT Camilo Gonzalez during his contribution to the 2015 budget debate. Gonzalez says the call centre will be coming to SVG through Digicel and read a correspondence from a representative of the company, which outlined some of what it entails.
As you are aware, we recently acquired a number of cable TV operations across the region, and we expect to expand upon these over the coming 12 to 36 months. The call center should be up and running by the second quarter of 2015 and will employ roughly 50 persons on a full-time basis. Wow. Mr. Speaker, I spoke to the local rep for Digicel to make sure that I could read and disclose this letter. He told me that of the 50 jobs, 45 of those jobs will be jobs for Vincentians. Yeah. And he told me that as it was indicated, they plan to roll out more and more cable TV across the Caribbean. And whenever you are in Jamaica watching Digicel cable TV and you have a problem and you pick up your customer service and you call, it will come to the call center in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. You have a problem in Trinidad and Tobago, somebody in St. Vincent and the Grenadines will be answering the phone.
5 students from the Kingstown Preparatory School have qualified for the Primary Schools Performing Arts Festival, PRISPAF. The 5 are Jamali Ellis, Hannah Williams, Katrina Miller, and the duo of Dante McBurnett and Adele Singh. Over 60 primary schools are expected to participate in this year's PRISPAF competition. Speaking at today's event at the prep school, Cultural Officer Martin Quashie said it is important to believe in the abilities of the students so that they can shine as performers.
The problem is that we do not believe in ourselves so much that we can make it just like anybody else. We have to start engender that into the younger ones. Let them feel brave and bold to perform, and we have to make the opportunities available for them to excel. So if you have a talent, you young ones who are listening to me now, if you have a talent, if you can sing, if you can dance, if you can even jump and skip, that's a talent. That may be a talent for you. If you can run, if you can play tennis, whatever you can do, and you know it's kind of inherent in you, then you have to make sure that you continue doing it.
Quashie is encouraging parents and other adults not to stifle the talents of their children, whom he says can make a living from their talent one day.
And I'm making this appeal now to the parents out there, as I always do not interfere with God's talent that He put into the younger ones. Sometimes a person might be drawing and then the parents say, oh, you're good for a draw. You know, study work. But that might just be his talent that God has given to him to make a living in the future. You never know. So whatever they can do, you as the parent have to see and search and find the talent and help them to develop it. Do not stifle the talent of your children. I am appealing to you because this is God's gift to them. So we have to make sure that we encourage them.
Here's a look at some of the performances of the youngsters today.
You will come to rescue me. Let me go from the back and send it through. Oh, to me, I'll give my all to you. You're my end and my beginning, even when I lose or win. You said that I love you, let me be the one to give you everything you want and need, and hold out your candle for all to see it. Take your candle and go light your world. Never mind, I'll find someone like you. I wish nothing but the best for you. So don't forget me, I'll beg, I'll remember you said. all that matters. I ain't love you first, but you first loved me. In my heart I cursed you, but you set me free. I gave you no reason to give me new season, to give me new life, new breathing. But you hung that bleed, that's my lies, I'm cheating, my lust and my greeding. What is a man that you mindful of him? And what do I have to deserve this love? Trying to make the moments last, holding on to the past, but like a hero in a dream, Christ came and he rescued me. Now I'ma tell the world, tell the world, tell him I'ma tell it everywhere I go.
In court news this evening, Xavier Williams of Camden Park will spend the next 5 years at Her Majesty's prisons on charges of ammunition and marijuana possession. The sentence was handed down this morning by Chief Magistrate Rayshan Brown Matthias after he was convicted on 2 separate charges with legal representation by Arthur Williams. The ammunition and over 3,000 grams of marijuana were reportedly discovered at his Camden Park home when police acted on a tip and conducted a search on March 6, 2013.